Oh, man, I bet. Good to see you.
Come in and drop stuff.
I think we're going to start now because we have a guest from the water department and it goes into there. Daniel, if you want to go ahead. Just remind everybody, we record these things just for the sake of notes, so that's what that phone over there is for. It's a public meeting, so nothing to hide anyway, right? But Daniel's going to talk to us about some of the stuff coming up in the
All right, well, good evening, everyone. Thank you guys for having me. So I'm from the water department, and very happy to be here, very excited to be here. We have a very big project going in along Cobbs, about 1.2 miles worth of projects going in along the Cobbs. So I'm here to informally talk to you about it, and as we get close to construction, I'll have a formal meeting for the next PowerPoint. But I really want to quickly explain what the projects are, what they'll do, and how they'll benefit you guys in the creek. So the water department does three main things. It's drinking water, wastewater from your homes, and stormwater or running drains. Right now we have what's called a combined system. When it rains a lot, it floods the pipes. And you might have seen big outfalls, maybe along the Cobbs Creek. When it floods, all that water goes out into the creek. And unfortunately, all that water is wastewater from your homes, and it's storm runoff from the roads. So what you can imagine, what you're doing at home, and what's on the street, when it really rains hard, it's going right out to the creek. So the water department is committed to a green program, using green infrastructure, like trees and plants, to clean that water and hold it so it doesn't go directly into the creek and flood the creek when it rains really hard. So the point of me being here is to let you know, again, I'm going to do this informally tonight, and we're having a very nice presentation before construction starts, that a lot of these green projects are going to go along this stretch of the Cobbs. Okay, I have one map here, and I can email some information to Larissa as well, so if anybody wants any information, I also have cards. She can give it to you, I can give it to you, or we both can give it to you. So very quickly, I'll tell you about the green infrastructure, that's what we call it, and what it does, and then I'll answer any questions that you might have. So the green infrastructure, we use trees and plants, basically, and flowers. And underneath the trees and the flowers, we'll dig a deep basin. So when it rains really hard, the water will collect into those basins and sit there instead of flooding the creek and going out to the creek and eventually the river. And the top of those systems are green. They look really beautiful. There's trees up there, there's flowers up there, there's grasses up there. Sometimes there's signage if they're really big. And the basins will retain that water and let it trickle out slowly, or the trees and plants will soak it up and use it to grow. So in two ways, in many ways actually, you're going to get a huge benefit. You're going to help the creek, you're going to beautify your neighborhood, you're going to clean the water that goes back out to the creek, and you're going to get some shade trees, you're going to get some beautification, things like that. So if anyone would like to see this, I can pass this around. Okay, I have, like I said, I only have one copy. There's a key on the left-hand side which will tell you what type of green tool, that's what we call them green tools, what type of tool and where it will be. But again, I have a ton of information. My card is on me. That project, so the way we do things at the water department is we design things for a while. We're going to come out to the sites, make sure everything's okay, and we start construction. So we're about 90% done with the designs. The designs will be done by the end of the summer. And then the bidding process for whoever will actually do the project projects will start in the early fall, and the construction could start late fall, early winter of this year. So then the most important thing before you get to that beautiful stuff is what it means for you. There could be construction out along the bike path, there could be construction in medians, there could be a loss of a couple parking spots during construction, wherever they have determined to put these tools. So there will be some disruption. You will see the water department, you'll see the subcontractor that we hire to do that work. But the total project shouldn't take too long, maybe about half a year, which for 18 projects is actually pretty good. And then hopefully by, probably before this time next year, you'll have a bunch of beautiful green stormwater management tools all along the Cobbs. So I tried to hit the main points. The map is going around. Does anyone have any questions about anything? Yes, ma'am.
What part of the concrete work are you talking about? You're talking about that whole stretch of 63rd Street?
Yeah, the map is here. If you want to, since you've got the question, I can walk this map back to you. And again, I can provide any of this information. Basically, we're talking about Market Street all the way down to Baltimore. Now, it's not going to be the whole stretch, but there are going to be pockets of construction all along that 1.2 miles. So we have 18 total green projects going in.
Who's in charge of that?
Who's in charge of which part?
Wait, I came in 2 minutes after the house. I don't even want to your presentation. So I only heard for the bits of it.
So I'm from the water department,
Oh, okay.
and we're designing green stormwater management tools. So trees and plants to help us filter and capture that rainwater.
Okay.
And then we're going to hire, just like you would on your house, we'll hire a contractor to come and do the work.
And hopefully some people in the community can get jobs out of all of this.
Yes, that is one of the benefits.
Okay.
So we call this, we call this environmentalism the triple bottom line, right? People, planet, profit. So by doing this green work locally, our local businesses and our local contractors, if they win the bid, right, if they win that contract, they'll be able to do the work. So that's a very good question. So she said, Cobbs Creek is full of trees and plants, so where are you going to put it and maybe why, right? So the slope to the creek is very steep. And once the water gets there, right, it's in that natural setting already, and it's mimicking that water cycle. The trees are going to soak it up, the plants are going to soak it up, it's going to go into the soil. But before we put this project in, all the rainwater that runs off of our surfaces will go right down there also. So we've designed the system to capture the low points of all these places, and it'll hold that polluted water so it doesn't go into the creek. Does that make sense? That answer your question?
You're saying that you're going to put additional foliage.
Correct. We're putting additional foliage, and underneath that additional foliage, it's designed to hold that. Yep. So we'll catch it before it gets there, and we'll catch that polluted water.
So all of this will be done on the forest.
And mostly will be done on the west side, the park side. Yeah, there'll be a few things on the east side, either of the street or even the sidewalk, but mostly it will be done even on the west side of the west part of the street. You know what I'm saying? Yes, in the back.
You said it's about 6 months, right?
It will take, we're looking to start construction. Yeah, I mean, that's my guess. Again, and things come up, and that's tentative. Anything I talk about timeline, I don't do construction, so it's tentative, but yeah, I think it'll take about that long. I think it's
When did you say you're looking to start?
projected to start in late fall or early winter. So that's when construction is projected to start.
So you guys are looking to start in the winter.
Yes.
So depending on how the weather is, and we're talking about possible stops and starts depending on the weather.
I mean, a little bit, but I mean, I want to let you guys know we're fully committed to the project. So if weather happens, nothing we can do. But if it's a one-day delay, then it's like someone doing your roof and weather coming, gotta stop. But it will happen. It will be in place. Again, this is all very tentative. I can't on the schedule itself, but I'm hoping, by the middle of summer next year, we'll go there.
So that means, I'm sorry, that will need to, because I can't necessarily say that I can visualize everything that you're saying, but for the most part, you're just saying main fact, probably little fact, like the trail and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to get an understanding of how much of the park is going to get operated during that time.
Oh, I mean,
Around the park that's being used by, so like how we have basketball courts, tennis courts, swings on both sides, by the Laura Sims skate house, all of that, like how much of that is going to be affected?
so there's a project that's just north of the Laura Sims parking lot that we're going to put in there. So that, even that small section of the parking lot will be affected, but it's a pretty small footprint. All of these things are fairly small. Maybe the biggest ones are double this size of this room maybe, but most of them are fairly small. So the localized places will be affected, certainly. I would never say they wouldn't be. But the smaller projects will be pretty quick.
Will they, can I add to that too, will they all start all at once, or do they do it in phases?
That's a very good question. So when we hire the person to do the work, if they have expertise in the different, if each one of them has expertise, they may start a little bit all at once and let someone go ahead that has expertise while they work on another one. So it's not like they're going to go, okay, 100% here, starting at 100%. They may go 10%, 40%, 100%, 20%. They may stick around a little bit. Let me just, I thought I had a timeline here.
But ultimately, you can come back.
Yeah, so ultimately, yeah, it's true, and I would love to come back. So I'm just here to touch base, to say hello, to talk to you guys, give you sort of this informal talk, and then as we get close to construction, I will definitely come back, have a PowerPoint, you'll be able to see everything. And again, if you want to see everything, I can give you my card, I can send you the pictures for your email. Yes.
Carl, I saw that you're having some pump outs. There would be some pump outs.
There will be some updates, yes.
Pump outs where they would extend, instead of just stopping here where the natural curve is, they would do that little extension, make it kind of look like a little small cul-de-sac, kind of like a real miniature, then the plants will be here. So you very well can have a construction guy saying, he's going to do a lot of pump outs, then people are going to agree work and come in and do that.
I have two questions, well, actually several questions if you all don't mind. Are you doing these meetings anywhere else, or is this the extent of community?
No, so my job, so my job is to do this kind of outreach in all of Westville. So there's a bunch of projects like this going on everywhere, and I go out and talk to people, make sure they have my contact information, let them know what's happening, and then like I said, we'll have a more formal meeting, probably, I would say, maybe early fall, when we get the timeline. Once we get the construction company picked, they have to come back and give us a timeline.
We want somebody from the community, for real. I have a couple more questions. Has anyone else done this in the other part of the country or the state?
So it's very cool and very innovative. Philadelphia, what we're doing with this stuff is we're the first in the whole country. So we have state and federal permission to do this green stormwater management using green poles.
So we can go on and look it up, it's called stormwater management.
Oh yeah, you can go, if you Google like Philadelphia water, comma,
I don't want you to fill me, I want like what the research is.
Yeah, Portland has done it,
Okay.
we're doing it.
Oh,
We are actually, and if I were doing a formal presentation, I'd show you the headlines, but people are looking to us as the example. So we're a pioneer, and all this stuff going in your neighborhood is actually really innovative and really cool and special. So it's really going to be beautiful.
Just one more question.
Sure.
Once the project is underway, we brought up the concern about employment for the community. Will you all oversight to ensure that happens? Sometimes contractors come in and say, oh, we want to hire immediately, the project gets underway, and then it drops the ball. So will you all either go to that, will accept application, or will the individual go directly to the general contract?
So we will put out the bid, right? So yeah, we'll put out the RFP, if you want to use that line, we'll put out that RFP. It'll be public and anybody can bid on it.
No, not the bidding part. I'm talking about once the contractor, who's ever in general, gets the, address the bid, they have been selected. Her concern was now we begin to hire within the community to do some of that work.
Yeah.
You know, but I understand you still got unions and everything else
Who do
that
we
you
need to talk to? He's still not signing off on that. Who do we talk to that he's put, because you all want to come in and do work, but we want what we want also. We want the community to get some, so they come out of this.
That's very understandable, and that's, whoever gets that bid will hire her.
Who do we need to speak with?
They haven't hired the contractor yet. There isn't anybody.
Yeah, I can't,
So who did we speak to? That's my question.
Just one second. So, when that person gets awarded the bid, they have then won the bid, and they have to
We
wait.
want to touch this before we get to the bid.
Well, that's the situation. It's not political. It's just that if you've got local people here who win that contract, then they win the contract. But if somebody else wins the contract and they have their own
I
crews,
think you just, that's what she's saying.
She's saying to you that once you have decided who you're going to do the contract, are they under obligation to hire a certain amount of people? No, because it's moving. Is that part of what they did as well as the money that how they will go about?
I can check.
Because those people come from the suburbs.
Yeah.
They work in they take workers from the suburbs. They do not hire the local.
And they take the
If that's part of the, what you're saying, I'm not.
I can
If
check on
that's
that.
part of what is required of them when they're trying to give you the bid.
I can check on that as well.
Is that point to be?
Excuse me, our hands up for a minute.
Yes,
Okay,
Go ahead.
thank you. What she's trying to say is, when you find out who the person that won the bid, you come back to our community and let us know who it is.
Oh, yeah.
So that we can also speak to them and say to them that we would like a part of our community to be a part of the project.
Oh, yeah.
Okay?
Yeah, that's no problem.
We're asking you, how do we keep in contact with you, or you keep in contact with us, to let us know when this bid is done, or when it's won.
But we need to.
No, we need to know ahead of time what you can, that's what she's saying, what you can expect.
Yep.
And that Philadelphia itself makes that one of the conditions.
Yes.
Yeah.
I just have a quick question. Have they done the RFP already?
No.
For this RFP? So they already still, is the legal department still writing the
I
RFP?
believe that's still on the work. So I'll check on that.
So if the legal department is still doing it, then it will be a conversation with the office community, for community engagement or the mayor's office, whatever.
Right.
That's who you make this who you make this to, because if you're going to do it, then you get them to put it in there or find out how they're going to do the bid, or can they sub it out, like who the subs, because they may give it to a bigger contractor, but if they have subs, you can find people in the neighborhood who fall under that category, and they can go in and sub, because they're supposed to have a certain requirement for minority subcontractors for these city projects, but if we don't know when the RFP is, we know that it's not really broadcasted, we'll miss out.
Yeah, they have minority loans, they have women's
Business,
loans,
yeah.
yeah. So
But
that's
then they gotta
fine.
get certified, because then if you don't know how to get certified, then it doesn't matter.
Exactly. Yep, I can check in on that, and I assume you'll be the contact.
Any information that they have, that the water department has to share, if anybody is not already on our email list, I'll share that. When I get it.
Yeah, that's why, sorry, I misunderstood. I can do that, no problem.
And then I think to have apples and oranges not be mixed, they're saying two things. One, you say the RFP, that's if ABC contractor answers that bid. But you need to make sure in in the language of the RFP, that you have to hire some people in the community, which would address your 3 Ps, right? Plants, people, and
Get property, you got it.
property. So
Yeah.
that P of people is what you're saying. So 2 things that happen. The RFP is the contractor, but in RFP, that language should be a certain percentage needs to be higher, which doesn't mean that I as an individual need to be certified as a contractor, but you need to hire so many people in the community to do the work, skilled or unskilled.
And also, I was thinking, with this being so new and this is all innovative, would they not build in and allow for people to be trained in all this innovative type of branding of the city? Where does that come into any of this?
That's a really good question. We have a program called the Power Corps, the PHL Power Corps. So again, you can look this up, or you can email me, but
I'll take it.
yes, I will be happy to be part. So the Power Corps does exactly what you're saying, and it's a beautiful program. And I actually really wanted to work there, and I got this job. And, it's fine. I love this job. So they'll train anyone who wants to join this Power Corps in this green technology, the maintenance, the design, all this kind of stuff. And they'll go into the Power Corps. They work closely with us. They work with Parks and Rec. They work with a lot of people. And once they come out of the program, they'll have these green skills, right, that everyone's talking about. And then they can begin to say, oh, I can do that. Yep, I've done that. I got trained there. So it's a really good program. I really encourage you guys to look at it.
Just a quick question.
Sure.
For me, I don't think that's how I'm going to get this information for us.
Oh, I'll check tomorrow.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll check tomorrow.
Only because we're in a time sensitive situation.
Oh, sure.
If they're in the middle of this, I don't know how far into this legal process they're in. So what's happening?
Just so you're aware too, I'm like 3 weeks into the job, so I will send some emails and I will ask these questions, and if I get these answers, then they will come right your way, no problem. And if I don't or I can't, I will at least let you know that I am attempting to get these.
Okay.
I want to say that the Power Boards is the program we use them up there for our green space. In the Northeast, we had a garden. It took part of the recreation center that wasn't the grounds that wasn't being used, and they come out. They're pretty good young men. Some who have some wrinkles, but as far as their past, but they in this Power Board, and it gives them an opportunity to get caught up in the green. So those are things you have to take into consideration. You may very well have community satisfaction. We have young men in the community that go to Power Board and are doing the work. So it may not be Bobby that's the neighbor next door, but it may be the other guy on the other side whose son went into Power Board and he is from the community and he gets trained in green. Because it doesn't stop here. Once he gets that training, it's the white roof, the green, so you can get over to a lot of
Yeah, I would highly recommend that you all look at that program and push it out. It's really good.
This has already been, if people already know, they can't.
That's why I'm here.
So for licensed contractors, master plumbers that have those businesses, what does Power Corps offer to them to become green certified for contractors? Is there anything available?
So if you're a master plumber, or you're a master plumber, they want to get green certified. That's kind of apples and oranges, and I'm happy to talk to you on the side about that, but it's. They would get
If they're getting bring back into their business, wouldn't it probably be better when they do for like?
They would want to start working outside. Like they would, if they wanted to do the power, plumbing would kind of get left behind. You know what I'm saying? So it's not necessarily good business per se. But if someone's interested in doing great work,
If you have,
you have to.
a contact at Power Corps too, that could come to the similar presentation.
Well, maybe when I come back and do the big formal one, I can bring someone from Power Corps.
And we try to get them at our percent too.
Do you have any idea of the estimated approach, not the RFP or anything else, but when is the project start?
Late fall, early winter.
So if it's late fall, early winter, we're talking somewhere between October, November, going into January. That's when this starts.
That's when construction, so again, this is always tentative, and I'm the messenger.
I got you.
Our engineers are saying, plans should be done here, the bidding process will take about 4 months, and then you're talking about late fall, early winter for groundbreaking, so. That's tentative.
That RFP, then they're in the thick of it. So that's why I asked that second question, because it makes sense now. Okay.
And if you don't get direct information, from Daniel, put your phone numbers or emails on here so I can show it. These are point of contact, and just because I have an email address, it's not Street's neighbors, people find it, and that's how it gets to me.
That's how I found it,
Yeah, we'll give it to you. So, if anybody else, and some new people came in.
Yeah. Any other questions in general?
How long is it gonna last?
The construction, that's the tentative. I'm hoping by like this time next year. Yeah, it's gonna be about a year. But you know, the smaller ones can get finished faster. Yes.
Yes. Also, I'm part of the concern block of West and Southwest Philadelphia. We would love to have you come to there and speak, tell us more on. Well, my question is for that. So we're going to take another lane on Walnut on our 6030. Will we be taking up one of the lanes too in the fall?
Permanently or just during construction?
During construction.
So again, always take this with a grain of salt when I talk about construction, because I'm not going to be here doing it, but they're going to take the space they need to do the construction. So, yeah, I know the traffic is bad up here and the lights, during rush hour is bad, for sure. But
okay, are they going to block that Marshall Road as well, so we have to travel all the way to Woodmont Avenue to get down to the 80?
I mean,
because I saw it on the paper.
Yeah, once we get closer, I'll figure out what the patterns are going to be and where construction is going to be, what they might need to take. And again, I can share that with your point of contact and send it right out there. I don't have an electronic, and she's got the electronic control. Yes.
Yeah, my question is, as you said, the point of contact with Cobbs, was there other organizations that can come out, go to the different meetings that in this area so that you can tell others about
what's that's what I'm starting to do.
Yeah, I don't represent the neighborhood.
No, I know, yeah. So I was already at Laura Sims. We've got a nature walk down in Mount Rye, which I also want to plug on the side. We have a nature walk down in Mount Rye. I've got a meeting in the lower southwest for another one of their projects, but I'll be hitting Cobbs Creek for a while because it's beautiful here. We want to make sure that everybody understands what's going in, when it's going in, and also this stuff is really, really exciting and innovative. So yeah, I'm going to do that too. Yeah, that's on my list of things. I want to come here and meet with you guys. And then I'll start talking with them, and they can push it out on the news end at the weekend. So I'll be doing both, hitting everything as much as I can.
But just put that into announce, they'll put your announcement when the meeting's at.
Yeah. Yeah, very happy to talk to whomever and almost whenever and wherever. Okay. You'll see. Any other questions?
No? Okay. Thanks. Anybody that wants a card?
So I gotta get home, so I gotta get going. Relative, 15 months, so I gotta get home for bedtime. Yeah, this is, construction, I will have a very nice house.
Thank you.
Okay, guys, thank you very much. Have a good night.
Okay, I want to lose everybody. We got 30 more minutes to talk about two more things, and I don't think you'll get that many questions, so thank you. Since there's a lot of new faces, at least to me, I'm going to introduce myself again. I'm Marissa, and I've lived in Cobbs for 10 years, and when I moved here, I started to try to find community groups just online, and started Googling. I really wasn't finding a lot, or I found like the environmental center, I'm email, and I never get back to anybody, because they weren't really like keeping up with their emails. So it's a block captain's meeting for a couple of years. Tried to, get in touch with people that way, mostly met people on my blog. So, long story short, I started a Google blog, and it was just announcements about things that I found out that were going on in the neighborhood. I belonged to as many email lists as I could find, Philly blog, and Philly blog there used to be, and the Cobbs Creek Environmental Center, they would send out information about stuff, and I was trying to push that information out to other people, so if they were looking like I was, they could find out how to be part of it. Nobody was really following the blog. I started a Facebook page, thinking that might get a few more people. I haven't been doing a whole lot with it. And then I started in the last year, I've been taking classes. I had some more time. I started putting money into it. So I was just pushing all kinds of information out. And I don't know how many people here have seen the Facebook page. Maybe that's how you find out about it. That's the whole reason. I'm trying to get more people that live in the community so we can work together on stuff. So I've had a couple of organizations reach out to me and say like, well, where did you come from? I never heard of you. I said, well, nobody did. We're not even, we don't exist yet. So this is our fifth meeting. Fifth meeting. It's grown, and we have some regulars and we've let some new people here. But what's happened is because I have this email address and Facebook page, people like Daniel from the water department, Google Cobbs Creek, they find a page, they find ultimately me, but I'm going to say us. And so I'm trying to get more interaction from organizations like that. One second. We have developed bylaws to become a registered community organization, so that when projects like that happen, you can ask all the questions you're asking about getting people for community jobs. If we oppose anything, we want to be involved in that. We want to have sort of like a unified voice. And one of the things on the agenda tonight is to talk about the application process for becoming a registered community organization, RCO. It was supposed to be a window of June 1st to June 30th. That was when the application was supposed to go in. But that has changed since I made the agenda last week. That's changed. They actually met today to discuss regulation changes in that process, which fortunately they have extended the application deadline to July 31st. Which doesn't really change much for us. I think that we're still, I think that everything we've done up to this point is still relevant to however it's going to change. And I'm trying to get somebody from the Philadelphia City Planning Commission to come and explain that better, because I don't really know it that well. And I won't be able to answer most of your questions probably. But I did bring samples of the application. I think it's the current application, because they haven't approved whatever they talked about today, they'll approve that to the 14th. So we will submit this application as it is, and then if there's any changes that are made after that, I think that they just won't honor that until maybe the next application process or next year. And I apologize, we established meeting rules in our first meeting, and one of them was just, it's basically respect for the audience. We try to limit like multiple conversations, interruptions, things like that. But that was my whole spiel, so now I can take a question.
I just want to, I don't know if I heard you. Where did you say you were?
Where did I say I live?
Did you say?
Yeah.
Like what area? Or is this the end? I just want to.
I bought my house at 53rd Webster.
Okay. And then just as a side note, I know before, and you're talking about involving other organizations in this neighborhood, typically, there's not a heavy online presence.
Yeah.
for sure. That's just not the way, especially a lot of homeowners, the elder, that's just not what we do. So it's a lot of organizations going on, just not, it should not.
No, I
It just don't get this.
I'd say that 75% of my block is over 75 years old.
Right.
And the block captains group, I mean, I went there for 3 years, and that was how I ultimately determined. They kept saying they wanted to get younger people to talk. So my idea was to meet in the middle, so that, say, a group like this, who is online, can meet with the block captains group. I've been to a couple since we started this meeting. They haven't gone so smoothly, some of them. And then they break for the summer. But the idea is to partner with them with churches that we'll get to some of the people that are going to come to the event on the 18th. The Philadelphia Corporation for Aging is one of them. So I really hope that the people that are on the internet share by word of mouth with, your neighbors, your aunts and uncles, your grandparents, whoever is not online. Because, I can't walk everybody's house and hand out flyers. I did about 3 blocks worth for the first meeting that we had, and it took me probably 2 hours just to do that. That was just me. So the idea now is I email everybody a flyer and say, please print it out, put it in your neighbor's mail slot, call them up, whatever, I hope that we get organized enough that if we phone numbers, we can have somebody making we can have a phone street, so we can have, you call 10 people, you call 10 people, etc. But I'm open to whatever other ideas you have for getting more of our community of all ages.
Do you have a board established? Is there a board, can you say, that's a created bylaw, something?
We haven't yet, just because we're new.
So who they created the bylaw?
Well, we did as a group. Yeah. We used a template online, just like other groups, like other community groups, and then we altered it to ours, just so the boundaries were reflected. And those can be revised anytime. We don't have a board yet. It's basically me and Monica. I ran into Monica coming out of a meeting here. I was coming to the Friends of the Library this meeting, and happened to run into Monica, who I knew from our prior life. And we share some of the same interests. We share some of the same goals. She's a nice lady. So Monica, we've been working together, to do whatever we can to try to get as many people as involved. The boundaries of Cobbs Creek that the city determines, not a city, is 52nd Street, Baltimore Ave, Cobbs Creek Parkway, and Market Street. Yeah, and we've had people that come from outside of the boundaries. We don't want to discourage anybody. If you don't have a neighborhood,
I was told that I wasn't part of
well, like I said, we don't want to exclude people that maybe live in like a buffer zone, or maybe you live in King Cessy, but you work in Cobbs, or your kids. Yeah, that's fine. I don't want to discourage anybody that wants to be involved in the community, not to be, just because they live in Cobbs, right? Somebody else.
Yeah, I have a question about the RCL. What happened to me June the 2nd? What happened to that meeting?
Who had it?
RCL, what had a meeting?
The city planning commission?
No, RCO.
Oh, I don't know.
You don't know? You don't know about the RCL?
No.
So in other words, it was to elect the, who will be the director, secretary, chairman, right?
Oh, we didn't have anything planned for June 2nd.
June the 2nd, I would have had my notes.
We had a meeting for the Friends of the Library.
June the 2nd, I know this date, but June the 2nd was the RCO meeting.
Oh, I don't remember that.
Were they canceled it out?
No, they actually, what he's talking about, what you were talking about with planning, the RCO, the actual entity, had a meeting. Now, I don't know all the ins and outs, but that's why what you heard today, I heard yesterday, Saturday or Sunday, I heard it from the portal, because you can actually do your application electronically online, or you can do it print out and print. So they had their meeting, that's when they first announced that they were going to extend it out to the 31st, to July 31st. I didn't see all the details in regards to who was elected and what or whatever. I just know that the zoning and all these other commissions, it still goes back to RCO, putting out that full request, it goes to them.
Right. So you saying that it's extended to July the 31st?
Yeah, for that application.
Okay. Mine's a twofold. One is, you're trying to get an RCO, right? So we will be housing the RCO at.
We don't really have a physical location other than probably the library. I mean, we're not gonna be like a 501c. We're not going that far. I mean, you don't have to have a physical location to be an RCO.
Okay, my second question was, did you reach out to the RCOs that are already here in this area?
I reached out to the ones I know, but if you know more than I do, I would love to know what they are. But achievability was one of the main ones. There's like a 46 Republican board that's an RCO.
That's about where, and then there's progressive, which is the Cobbs Creek area. That's why I'm asking you to reach out to them. You find them through RCO because I think you can't have too many RCOs in the same area, if I'm not mistaken. We have one achievability is on the north side of 6th Street, whereas progressive is off of 60 from Pine Street, which is the whole Cobbs Creek area. That's why I'm asking you about that.
I've reviewed the list, you can see the list of all the RCOs online, so I did review the list and I emailed all the ones that were established. I didn't hear back from a couple of them. I mean, I can follow up, obviously, with phone calls, there are numbers, but some of this was discussed in the earlier meetings too. We looked at where there were RCOs already established. But some also have specific, like, achievability, not only does it cover the north side, they have a very specific focus for what they do. And we're not trying to do necessarily what they do. This is just a neighborhood association. We are looking for like community partners. So yes, other RCOs we can partner with. So let's say there was a meeting where the water department was going to talk about the RFP for this job. I would want your RCO to be there, and my RCO to be there, and our RCO, and everybody else that's in the area that would be affected to go and voice whatever their concerns are. I don't, this is more like a sharing entity than a dominating entity, if that makes sense.
My last question is, you said the city needs a map of how Cobbs Creek is divided. Share with us who this person is in the city that did this, because the way they cut Cobbs Creek up, that, I mean, from someone that was raised around here, that's not Cobbs Creek starts at 57. So I don't know how to end up all the way down 52nd Street. You understand how it's going to square around that.
That's zoning planning, how they, like, if you look at the maps, they've redone it, because technically now, informally, University City extends to 56 in Baltimore and Market. So now how does Cobbs Creek go over to 52nd Street? One comes over onto this side. So there's
false boundaries all through the city.
Yeah.
There's no more, like, you have the city official map and you have a lot of informal maps now.
Well, and University City only some services go to 56th Street. That's not all of the services.
Right, but they opened up the boundary for their housing program.
Well, they self-appointed that opened up.
So that's an informal. That wasn't the city. That was an informal. We drew a boundary line. We said we'll come up to here and we draw that. So it goes different ways like that. So yeah, that's
yeah, I mean, whenever I look up Cobbs Creek, I mean, even Wikipedia says. Well, I know you said something about 57th Street. There's another group, but 57th, like to the park, right? Do you remember what that was called? Like that.
The only ones I know is Cobbs Creek is on one side, and Cedar Park is the lower end of it. I don't know who's in the middle. It has to be a middle. From 57th Street to 50, I think, Cobbs Creek starts, Cedar Park starts 50. So between it,
Cedar Park starts at I know, I was the president.
So I mean,
I live in the area, don't know that when they first started off, these are the two areas.
Yeah, but there are people
Okay,
that
so
Marshwood,
now the feet has moved up, but in the beginning, it's just, that's how that area was. These were the three areas where they were set up.
No, they redefined that, sir. Second Street.
Right, down in the
That's the large one.
So where's South Street at now? Is that what you're saying?
So the application for this RCO, we're defining the zone that is affected by this RCO. Has that, the boundaries of that been discussed at all, or how does that? Yeah, because that's an arbitrary choice. If I understand right.
Well, there's a limit to how many parcels I think could be part of our scope, so it's
Right.
like 20,000 or something like that.
Does the boundaries that you were saying before, Market, Baltimore, those, is that too far?
Probably.
So,
For an
so
RCO.
that might be something that might need to be a discussion.
Yeah.
and they'll come back and they'll tell you in that application, you're too big, shrink down, and so you're still.
We apply large.
Yeah. So the idea was like shoot for the stars and then scale back as they tell you to.
Yes. This is my first time at a meeting at this meeting, and I want to know what this agenda is based on, who are you representing?
This is the Cobbs Street neighborhood group, which is a neighborhood association.
Who's it, how did it start out, and who's representing besides yourself?
I'm sorry, but somebody had to sign it on this, that's what I'm on. I did it. Oh, it's under the
They
page.
basically started with a Facebook page. And some neighbors.
So does the University of Penn have
No,
anything to do with this?
no.
If there's money in our annual, it's a lot.
If we can get money from them,
They ain't giving out no money, that's the next thing on that agenda, how to squeeze money out of that. Yeah.
I just wanted to know, since you guys have done bylaws, have you put in a mission statement?
No, that's.
And could we hear it?
can we talk about that after, just because we do have an agenda, because I have a copy of them up here. And I can email them to anybody that's new to the group. If you put your email on the sign sheet.
I did.
Okay. I'm just trying to stick to our agenda so we get it done in 10 minutes. Because the library is closed. And we're going to talk about screening.
Right, so we're doing, we had an idea to do a community day. I'm sorry, I'm Monica Allison. I was president of Cedar Park Neighbors. I sold my house in Cedar Park and I moved back home. So this is home for me. I'm at 59th and Cedar. So, we wanted to do a community day. I'm also on the board here at the library. And so they wanted to do a activity as well with vendors and that type of thing. So we said, why don't we come together and do it together? So we have now made this spring clean, and it's supposed to be our West Philly Community Day. It'll be on June 18th from noon to 4 p.m. We'll have community groups out to get information out. We're going to have a children's area. I'm really excited about that because that's what I like. And we're going to have vendors. So if you know anyone that wants to be a vendor, the tables, if they want a 6x6 space, will be $25. If they want a 10x10, which is usually the tent size, that'll be $35. And they can send their checks here to the library. Sure, which part? $35 for a 10x10 table, which is usually the size for the tents, and then 6x6s are usually the tables, and they're $25. 12 to 4 on 18.
Are you guys developing any marketing material for, like, I thought about vending, but I'm not gonna be able to be there, so I was thinking maybe about they have my logo or pick that on some paraphernalia that price bid, you know, because I can't be there, but I still want to be there giving out my literature, just on flyers, if I can pay the $25, $35. Okay.
And I just want to let you know, some of the community organizations that are coming are, Parks and Rec is having Wild West Philly this year. And young guy named Becky James who does nature walks and like birding talks with kids and adults to the community. I think he's actually doing that nature walk at Mount Ryan also. the Corporation for Aging, the Philadelphia More Beautiful Committee. Vital Step Physical Therapy is a new physical therapy place that just opened above the Mercy Center at 51st of Baltimore, somewhere around there. They're coming, I think somebody is going to have chair massages. There's a local woman that's going to do that. The Food Trust, Get Hype Philly, Healthy Minds Philly is going to be doing public health screenings. Friends of Mount Orion, Philadelphia Water Department, the workshop school, and I'm going to see, based on the talk from Dan, if Tower 4 will come and have a table too. And if anybody has any suggestions about other organizations, I have a list of 2 pages of organizations I tried to get, but they're the only confirmed ones. I was trying to get like the mental trucks from, and well, I was considering you guys a vendor more than information saving, but they're doing demonstrations, science, edutainment.
Yes.
They just did a nature walk of physics. They just did something at the Bryant's Elementary School. Science advertising for the tables of interest. By advertising?
Yeah, we had flyers and been out. We've also put in ads, of course, online and in the local papers. So we've been trying, because the Friends group as well as our members, we had nothing prize. So we have to do any free advertising we can do.
And I'm going to say this, so that is the question of, because you guys are partnering, the money for the vending goes where?
The money for the vending is part of the Friends group for the library, so it'll stay right here at the library.
You don't have any counters to that?
I don't.
If everybody can put their email address or house address, I will make sure everyone gets a copy.
There actually will be an updated flyer after this meeting too, because we were waiting for confirmation from some of the vendors and community organizations, so like logos and stuff. There was a preliminary flyer that just had email address and phone number to try to get people to come. But now we've got some confirmed, maybe updated one.
I'm sorry, No, it's going to be off on the sidewalk completely around the library. We had that. Rain or shine, because that's the last day for this library to be open on Saturday. So we couldn't make a rain date for a later time. So we're definitely trying, you see here, this screen, as well as the projector, the Friends group bought for this library. If you go upstairs, you're here during the day when you're open, you'll see some of the new toys that have been purchased. So a lot of things are happening here at the library. We just applied for another grant for the Lego Club. I love it.
What is the great plan outside the group?
Yeah, our friend Malik is going to be doing some talks on credit repair and solving co-buying programs. Yes.
I just wanted to invite everyone, I'm one of the board members with the Friends group, so we meet the third Wednesday, so not just this group, if you come to the Friends group, some of the questions and information that gets put out, we would love for your group to become part of the Friends group, we'll send representation. So a lot of the things when the mayor was thinking about shutting down the library, the Friends group advocated the city council